Welcome to my channel. Can we solve this Olympiad mathematics question? I'm going to use a particular method, and if you have another method better than the method I'm going to use here, you can present your own solution in the comment section. Let's solve together. Solution. So we have 2 divided by 5 all raised to the power of x plus 1 divided by 3 all raised to the power of y is equals to 197 divided by 1125. So we can share the index to the fraction. So by having 2 raised to the power of x divided by 5 raised to the power of x plus 1 raised to the power of y divided by 3 raised to the power of y equals to 197 divided by 1125. So what do we do next? Recall that if we have 1 raised to the power of any value, we always have 1. For example, if you say 1 raised to the power of 100 is still 1. 1 raised to the power of 1 is still 1. So because of that, we are going to have this 2 raised to the power of x divided by 5 raised to the power of x plus this will give us 1 divided by 3 raised to the power of y equals to 197 divided by 1125. So from here we can notice that we can solve this. This is a fraction form, so let's solve it. So if we do that, we find the LCM. What's the LCM? 5 raised to the power of x and 3 raised to the power of y. That's 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y. So let's divide 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y divided by 5 raised to the power of x. That's 3 raised to the power of y. Then multiplied by 2. We're going to have 2 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y plus, then if we divide 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y by 3 raised to the power of y, we are going to have 5 raised to the power of x times 1. That's 5 raised to the power of x, which is equals to 197 divided by 1125. So we can solve further. So how do we do now? The next thing we are going to do here is let's compare the numerators and the denominators. Let's solve them separately. Let's solve the numerator first. The numerator I have here says 2 raised to the power of x. So the numerator says 2 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y plus 5 raised to the power of x is equal to 197. Okay, so and we can write 197 in this way. So we have 2 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y plus 5 raised to the power of x will be equals to, so we can have this as 72 plus 125. Okay, 72 plus 125. So we still have, next step is 2 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y plus 5 raised to the power of x equals to 72 can also be written as 8 times 9 plus 125. Okay, what we are trying to do here is to make sure this base here, which is 235, can also, you can also write the other right hand side in the same base. They will now compare their powers. So we have 2 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y plus 5 raised to the power of x equals to, this can be written as in base of 2, that's 2 raised to the power of 3 times in base of 3, that's 3 raised to the power of 2, which gives us 9, then plus 5 raised to the power of 3. Now, if you compare both sides, so you're comparing both sides, you notice that the base and here is equal. This base and this base are the same. This base and this base are the same. So if you check their index, 2 index x is the same as 2 index 3. So if you look at the value of x here is 3, look at the value of x here is also 3, value of y is 2. So therefore, our x is equals to 3, then y is equal to 2. So let's also do the same for the denominator. So if you do the same for denominator, you call the denominator is 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y. 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y equals to 1125. So if you look at that very well, we can write 1125 as, so let's say 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y as 125 times what? Times 9. So this can now give us 5 raised to the power of x times 3 raised to the power of y equals to, this can be written in base of 5 as 5 raised to the power of 3, then base of 3, 3 raised to the power of 2. If you also comparing both sides, so if you also compare both sides, you notice that the value of x is what? 3, then y equals to 2. So that is the final answer. But let's verify our values. Let's verify the answer to this solution. So now let's verify. So to verify, let's do that here. So to verify, we have 2 raised to the power of x over 5 raised to the power of x. I've already split the value. Then we have here 1 divided by 3 raised to the power of y to be equal to 197 divided by 1125. So let's input the value of what? Of x and y. Because the value of x is what? Is 3 while y is 2. So value of x is 3, y is 2. So we have 2 raised to the power of 3 divided by 5 raised to the power of 3 plus 1 over 3 raised to the power of 2, which is equal to 197 by 1125. So 2 raised to the power of 3, that's 2 times 2 times 2, that gives us 8. Divided by 5 raised to the power of 3, that gives us 125 plus this is 1 divided by 9, which is equal to 197 divided by 197 divided by 1125. So if you find the LCM, 125 times 9 is 1125. So divide this 1125 divided by 125. We have 9. 9 times 8, we have 70. 9 times 8, we have 72 plus 1125 divided by 9, that's 125 times 125, which is equal to 197 divided by 1125. Okay, so what do we do next? We add these two together. 2 plus 5, that's 7. 7 plus 2, that's 9. 9 plus 0, 1. Divided by 1125, which is equal to 197 and 1125. Verified. So it shows that the value of x is what? Is 3, and that of y is 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Bye bye.